Microphone check, microphone check, microphone check, microphone check. I'm gonna check this microphone and see if it works. Works. And I think it does. What's up, people? This is Rox. I'm about to play Tomb Raider Legends. And I wanted to play this game because it's been such a long time since I played it. And I know the new one's coming out. I'm highly anticipating it. And I wanted to go back and play the one that made me want to get back into the Tomb Raider games. Like when the first one came out on the PlayStation, I was actually at a friend's house and I hadn't owned a PlayStation yet, and I saw him playing the first one. And you know, I think at the time I was just kind of done with gaming. I think the system I owned before the PlayStation was the Nintendo. And for me, gaming just had become stale. There was like nothing new. And when I saw Tomb Raider, it had like this three-world, kind of like a 3D view to it. You can look around, you can move around in any direction you wanted to go. And this 3D world was new to me. And my friend had described her as sort of like an Indiana Jones-ish type of game where you explore and look into caves, and it was kind of fun. Actually, I looked a lot of fun, like watching him play it, and it made me really want to get the PlayStation. And it was because of Tomb Raider that made me actually get it. Later, the other games kind of follow, like Resident Evil and all that other stuff. But I really wanted to get into Tomb Raider, and it's funny because when I look back at the old version of Tomb Raider, like the very first game when it first came out, it looks so bad, and I wonder, how did I get through those days playing a game that looked that bad? And I actually picked up the I think it's the 10th anniversary of Tomb Raider, and I went back and played it on the Xbox, and it looks so much different. But playing through those levels again reminded me of what it felt like playing it through the first time. And the graphics had obviously improved. In fact, I think they used like this sort of engine to improve the graphics on the anniversary edition. And it looked really good, and I was really happy that they did that. I really enjoyed it. And when I played the sequels to the other Tomb Raider ones, like, I forget what they're called, Dark Angel or Angel of Darkness, I forget what it was called, and the Chronicles and 2 and 3, and they were okay. At some point they started to become like, stale. Like there was like nothing really new except for the locations. The gameplay was kind of like the same. I know that there was an RPG one, and I think it was the third one where you actually got to talk to people. It was kind of like, it reminded me of Zelda in a way, because you went to people and you try to talk to them, and they would give you information on whatever it is that you were looking for, and then you would move out of that town and go to another one. And I don't know, I think at that point, I think when I was playing that game, I actually felt like I was actually done with the Tomb Raider series. I felt like I'm just not going to play these games anymore because they just felt like, I don't know, they just feel unexciting to me. And when I saw that they were releasing this one, Tomb Raider Legends, it kind of like made me get excited again. I downloaded the demo and I started to play the demo, and I saw how rich the whole thing looked. Obviously the graphics have gotten a lot better since this game came out, but when I played this game, it really made me feel like the very first time I had played Tomb Raider. Like I was excited and finally having fun playing the game like the first time I actually played it.
Careful.
Deep breath, Sip. This will be a long trip otherwise.
I forgot you were such an optimist.
Now, I've played this game several times, and I even did the time trials. So when you see me play this game, I actually started a new game when I started to play this one. But you'll see that I'll be passing a lot of the treasures and collectibles because I just don't need them anymore. I unlocked almost everything that came with this game, and I also got all the outfits. But I wanted to play the game with its original content, the way it was supposed to be seen and played. So I don't know. Maybe in the other ones, I'll probably load up a different costume just to make it look different. I do like the way she looks here. I especially like the way she looks on the new one. She's a much younger Lara. This one she looks kind of like cartoony in a way. But the graphics on this game, I really do like the way they look, and I do like the way she moves around, how she's very limber, how she looks when she pushes stuff, when she jumps, when she pulls herself up. The acrobatics in this game, they really look good. This right here is one of my favorite moves, where she does the little handstand right there. When I first played this game, I wanted to figure out how to do that. I knew that in the other Tomb Raider games that she always did it, and I was really hoping that they brought that move back in the on this one. And for the longest time, I could not figure out how she did it. And I went online and I got the books and I was asking my friends and nobody knew how to do it, and I was like, oh, this sucks, dude, because what if they didn't put it in there? And then I tried pressing all the buttons, and then I just realized, why didn't I just try holding the button? And sure enough, by holding down the A button and pressing up, she would do a little handstand. And I was so happy. It was just the little things that made me smile.
Isn't she beautiful? I'm falling in love all over again.
You say that to all the ruins.
I'm a terribly lucky girl. And here come the bloody tourists to spoil it.
Your gear doesn't pick up detail that small. What do you see?
Men with guns. Mercenaries by the look of them.
What are they doing?
When I was first playing this game comes with those things where you can use the environment to sometimes kill the enemy. And when I was first playing this game, I never really used the environments or her gadgets. Like right here, like I actually never did that before. I never used to use the grappling hook in order to pull people off that ledge. I would always just shoot them up there. And it wasn't until I actually was making this video that I started to use all her abilities. For the most part, I would just do a lot of diving or jumping in order to avoid getting hit. But I hardly ever used her grappling hook or the abilities of jumping on them or any of that stuff, which is a shame because it looks so much better when you do the executions with the grappling hook or when you jump on them and stuff. And you'll see some of that right here. To every game there's always like a learning curve, and that you learn as you go as well, but for me it just takes a lot longer for me to get used to some of these things. But once you get it down, it looks so much better. This is a true story. It was one of those embarrassing things that you don't I just couldn't believe I didn't realize this. Back when the Xbox had first come out, I had bought games first before I owned the system. But I owned Call of Duty 2. That was the World War II themed one. That was my favorite game at the time when I was first playing the Xbox. I couldn't take that game out. I would play the other ones, but that game was I just really liked it. And I remember I had a 1v1 with a friend of mine, and we were playing it on Vosnak, and it was the first to 10, and she ended up beating me, and I congratulated her. I said, good game. And I told her that, I noticed that every time you aimed at me, I could hear you hold your breath. It's almost like, to me, I thought she was concentrating more on when she was trying to shoot me. And she asked me, what do you mean? And I said, well, I can hear you holding your breath every time you shot me. And she says to me, like, kind of like weirded out by it. She's like, that's not me holding my breath. That's the game. And I asked her, what do you mean? And to me, I thought she was trying to pull one over me. I'm like, why would the game hold its breath? And she told me it's because they designed it that way in order so you can get a steadier shot. And then she explained that I had to hold down the left analog stick in order for me to hold my breath to shoot, to hold my shot steady. And I kid you not, I had played the entire campaign, beating it on the veteran level, not knowing that while using the sniper, by pressing down on the left analog stick, you can hold your breath to better your aim. That could have saved me a whole lot of headache and me trying to snipe some yahoos who are like hundreds of yards away from me. But I never knew that until I actually played her, and I had already beaten the game, like I said, on the hardest difficulty, not knowing that. I felt like such a fool not realizing I could actually do that. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have any embarrassing moments like that. A friend of mine told me one that I just think it's classic. I just liked it. He made me laugh so hard when he told me about this. That when he was playing Gears of War 1 with a friend of his, and he was getting killed by the shotgun a lot, and he didn't understand where people were picking up the shotgun. He actually asked him that. He was like, I don't get it. People are killing me with this damn shotgun. Where are they picking it up?
Looks like you're going forward.
That's when you know you have to play the campaign. But same goes for me. I think they even explained that on Call of Duty 2. That if you press down on the left analog stick, you can hold your breath better. But I don't know, you see these things pop up on the screen, and I rarely read them. I don't know what it is. I really don't care, I feel like I'll learn by smashing buttons, which is really no way of learning anything. I'm really horrible at fighters, and you kind of you miss out on really cool stuff if you if you do things my way. So make sure, I guess, you pay attention to those things that pop up on the screen. But
Someone picked an unfortunate place.
I don't know. I've always been playing that way. I stopped reading the excuse me, the manuals that come with the game. There was a time where I was even buying the game guides too. But I start to realize that I'm only collecting the game guides because I'm not really using them for anything. The only time I would really take advantage of a game guide was when I was playing the fighters like Street Fighter or the Mortal Kombat games, so I can learn the combos. But for the most part, the game guides to games like this one, Tomb Raider, I felt like I didn't need them. I wanted to figure stuff out on my own, and if I did look up something when I got stuck, I would get so bothered with myself, especially if it was such a simple puzzle to solve, and for whatever reason I just couldn't figure it out, and then I go into the game guides and I realize, oh, all you needed to do was just wait a few seconds or step into this area out here. Like it recently happened to me on Skyrim. I got stuck. I needed to get on the other side of this gate. This gate was closed, and there's usually a lever right by the gate or somewhere in that room in the general area. And it looked like I was scanning everywhere in that cave trying to find this switch in order to get this gate open, and I couldn't find it. And I found this door, and it led me to another labyrinth where I took out some other dead spirits out there, and cleared out that area. And that labyrinth only took me back to the same room where I was, where I couldn't find the switch. Well, it turns out that the switch was right in front of the door the entire time. The only reason I didn't see it was because